right. We got one last kit to do for the year. I got surprised by this one from fifijoy. Thank you very, very, very much, because I had a lot of fun doing this one. So we're going to unbox it. This is back in time, before I knew how much fun it was. So thank you, fifijoy. Definitely check them out. They make some great stuff. Unique things. No bookstore. Well, they have them. Bookstores, fairies, things like that. This is a little more, a little more history. They also did the Viking one previously. We got another hammer. We got a few little lights. Not as many as last time, so that's not too bad. And then we got the flat pack of all the parts and pieces. And that's it. So this is a nice, easy puzzle kit. I'm also excited to get a new tool here. I got a new one, and I'm going to use it. I got the old one still. It's starting to wear out. So here's my old one from the last one. This toy can help. Oh, this tool can help. Ooh, they changed it. Aw. I'll definitely keep these. They're very useful. And before we get started, and I'm going to start right at page number 1, step number 1. I think there's like 79 steps. Very doable. I will say, do not punch out the pieces before you need them. Because as beautifully as they are marked, there are some tiny, tiny pieces, and you will lose them and you will forget where they belong. But again, do not take them out of the piece, the big piece, until you absolutely need them. My big tip of the day. So let's get started. So this one is very easy to do, I would say. I would say it's a great beginner piece. It kind of gets you to learn how, follow the directions. And the only tricky part, if there is any, is make sure they're going the right direction. It's gonna, at first, it seems a little odd that the picture is only on one side, but it's because you only see it on one side. So they always have the printing on the side that you're going to actually see. And see, we're already working on the first floor. So we got the little steps off to the side. And these little tiny pieces, this is what I mean, don't take them out of the main board until you need them, because you only have so many. And if you're like me, my sleeve will just brush on by and they will be gone forever. And these are foundational and you definitely need them, so don't lose them. It raises up the floor. Everything has its purpose. So you're going to see that the reason we put those little pegs in is so that this floor can sit right on top there. We're basically building a building how you would build a building, almost. And just make sure it's facing the right direction and you're good to go. Alright, it's the first of many little tiny pieces. So we're going to put this little vase on here. And then that makes the seat of the chair. With this kit, definitely do it in order. It all makes sense once you get to the end. Do it in the order that there's a reason they put it in that order. All right, we got another little chair, bench with a staff on it. Some things you glue, some things you don't. So definitely have, I just use that fast dry tacky glue. Works great every time. Just a tiny bit and it dries crystal clear. So no worries of, getting too globby. And we're just going to put it in the base. Some pieces were a little wobbly to my taste. You honestly could make the whole thing without an ounce of glue, except for these parts, of course. But as far as punching them together. But, yeah, when I put it into the base, some of the pieces were a little bit floppy, so I just put a dab of glue. Doesn't hurt it. And it dries clear, so you'll never see it. Oh, yeah. I had to do my nails. I was like, wait a minute. Let's get into the theme. If you ever wonder, I get my nails from Lily and Fox. They're super affordable, and they have all the themes that you possibly need. So that's where I get them. I do my own nails, and I like to try to match. All right, we're going to make a little, a little box of little sarcophagus. Can you say that word? And this one's a little tricky, only by just make sure it's going the right directions. Once you get it all together, you're going to get these teeny tiny little sarcophaguses that I can't say. Jars of things. And there's going to be 5 on top. And then I forgot to do this the second row, but I do eventually do it. And you'll see here, sneak peek of it all together. I did do the second row. So make sure you do both. Don't forget, like me. And now we're going to make a big tomb. If you've seen Indiana Jones, you know. So this would be your Lost Ark. Don't open it. Don't open it. You'll have these teeny tiny little pieces. Just make sure they're facing the right direction, because when you put it in the piece, this is what your lid is going to lay on. So just make sure it's angled correctly. Yeah, these pieces are very satisfying to build. You just put them all together, make sure you got this one the right direction, and they kind of only fit one way, except for this one could be backwards, so be careful. But you pop it together, and boom, you got a nice little box. Not done with the box though. We got to put stuff on top because we got to show what's inside, right? So we're going to have these little holders here. They'll come into play later. And of course, the pretty little staff. And we're going to keep going. So we're going to build the little walls. Just make sure your pictures are facing the right direction. It'll show you. It's pretty clear on the directions, so you can't get too lost. There's only a couple that I kind of stared at for a little longer than usual. Like, what? What do you want me to do? But once you get it, start building it, it is like building a puzzle. It'll fit together when you do it right. Alright, and we gotta put our little guy in there. Ta-da! Got another box to build. This one's got a lot of teeny tiny little pieces and a bug, a scarab. So just follow the directions. Here we go. There's quite a few little skinny pieces now. Most of these are made with nice thick particle board, so they're pretty good. They're pretty tough, but there are some very delicate, like the handrails, and there's a couple staffs and spears and things like that. Just be careful because they are very breakable. I've broken a couple, but very easy to just put some good old tacky glue on it, let it dry. It dries clear. Nobody will ever know. We're good. But these pieces are pretty tough. In fact, I'm using my pliers to tighten it up. All right, here we go with the teeny tiny little pieces. Just start putting them in. And if you did everything right, this piece should fit right in there. glue our little guy on, and we are good on this one. It's nice. They also do, if you have to glue a piece like the little scarab here, they do a little outline. 99% of the time, there's a little outline of where it goes, so that's kind of nice. Okay, now we're going to build some columns, and you're going to build a bunch of these, so you'll get used to this real fast. Now we're getting to the fun parts. This is probably the only time that I just punched out all the itty bitty little pieces. I just read ahead and see which one it is so that I can just plunk them all in. You still kind of have to look at the diagram to see where they go. And I did on some of these, I did put a little dibble of glue at the ends because they just seem to wibble wobble a little too much for my liking. But for the most part, they all just went right in. And you're gonna see that this little guy, see how it's just a little bit delicate. So no worries. That was actually that was the first one I broke. I did do a little railing later on, but that was about it. And that was just from me pushing too hard. So do be careful with those skinny pieces. But everything else, you can pretty much manhandle. And there's all the little guys in there. Now let's put in some of our big pieces we built. And here's where we lean that little lid that we built. Right there. First I tilted it up a little too much and then realized, oh yeah, it lays on those little pegs that we put in there. And I just adjusted it. Because it does, once you get your little pillars and things in there, everything kind of fits just right in there. So make sure you got the right positions. Ta-da! Very cool. It's looking like something, right? Alright, now we're going to start building some major walls here. And this one's got the little pegs, just like that lid on the tomb there. And you just put it all along the top. Easy enough. And then we just put it in the base. Like I said, this is nice, instant gratification kind of project. So once you get one piece, you put it into the main one. And then you go, it really builds up pretty fast. I did it over 2 days. I broke it up. I took my time. Because after a while you get a little blurry-eyed. Plus I had a craft show in the middle, as you know. But I survived that, finished this, and have some fun. Something a little different than Christmas stuff. Like, for instance, bones. You're going to be building a bunch of stairs, so you'll get really good at this. And let's put it in the project. Build it, put it in. Build it, put it in. Remember those pillars we built? Let's put those in. Now, as I was going on this one, I wanted to make sure that there was like a different picture in the front. You don't have to, but I did. And there's a couple different ones, so I just made sure, you know, I want to see all the little pictures. It is beautifully printed, by the way, and it's not coming off. It's almost, I don't know, laminated. It's definitely printed directly on the wood, so it ain't coming off. It's not paper. Alright, we got another wall, just like the other one, except we don't have the little pegs along the top. So this one's a little easier. And this one will go on the other side. You just gotta fit those little stairs right in the middle. Okay, lights. Everybody loves to hate them, right? These are not bad at all. In fact, this is really nice. One thing that their kits have is all the lights are already pre-wired. So you just got to figure out which one goes where. So this one has one short little guy and 3 long ones, and then the touchpad. I will recommend with any kit that has a touchpad, don't put the batteries in until the very end, because that touchpad is usually very sensitive and it'll be going on and off, on and off, on and off, all the way through while you're building this. So just leave the batteries out. So we're gonna these are all the same color lights. I double checked, and the only thing is one is gonna be short, and then they're just gonna get held into place with these little bracket guys. I did end up gluing down the wires a little bit just to make them nice, neat, and tidy, but honestly, you did not need to. That's just me and my habits from previous kits. So for this one, there's going to be one short one and one that dangles down. It does tell you in the directions there. It doesn't tell you how far down, but just let it hang down a little bit. All right, now we got this fun little piece. Don't pull it apart because it's supposed to be bendy like this. And we're gonna make kind of a arch ceiling. And this threw me off at first. I did it kind of a little backwards at first, and you can see it right there. That the piece where my left hand is backwards, but we'll fix it in a minute. Yeah, that's wrong. At least we find out now. See, it doesn't make sense because the printing should be on the outside. So we'll just flip it around and do it right. No biggie. We're building the ceiling that goes on top of that first floor with all the pillars that you just built. So now we're going to attach this piece that you have with all the lights onto your little archway here. It should fit all together. They do fit nice and tight. The big pieces, I will say, they do fit very tight. All right, now we have this little wall, and you're going to notice that it has a little divot in the bottom. That's where your wires are going to feed through. It fits just right. Another set of stairs. We got this cool decorative box here. Hey, we're already at step 44. There's 78 steps. We're over halfway. We're doing well. And now we're going to make this chest, and we got another little buggy guy. So just make sure your printing's facing the right direction because they kind of do fit either way. Just put it together so it makes sense to you. It's your project. If you do it upside down, just make it consistently upside down. And then this one has a little ribs that go all the way around. I use my pliers. I find my pliers are much stronger. It's like my second hand. You could definitely try to use the tweezers. I find they're just not strong enough to, jam them in. I use it as a brute strength tool. But if you're like setting, the little scarab down and things like that, definitely tweezers. You'll get to know which tools that you like. And here we go. We'll put the little bugaboo right here. This one actually didn't have the drawing outline. I guess you couldn't really. You just stick them on there. All right, we're on to the second floor. So we're going to start sticking some things in here. So here's the big things that we built, and we're going to stick them on here. And we have a few little odds and ends as well. Ta-da! Well, somebody didn't do too well trying to find the treasure. Alright, let's stick it together. Ta-da! We're getting there. Alright, now we're going to flip this to the back, and there's a little back stairway. So that's what this is. Just make sure that's facing the right way. I started building it the wrong way. I just went all gung-ho, and I did end up flipping it around. So pay attention. There we go. Easy fix though. We'll just flip this around and put it the right direction. If I would have thought about it, the arch goes over the little arch ceiling. Why I made it the other way, I don't know. And then it just goes right in place back there. I did put a little bit of glue there because they did flop a little bit for me. But once you get all the parts and pieces in together, they should stay together. I just like a little extra insurance. Alright, time for the other side of the floor. Now this railing back here, right where my right thumb is, I just kind of pushed that a little too far, and it did break a little bit, but I just tilted it up and put a little white glue on there. Honestly, it's way in the back, so you really don't see it, but I did fix it. And then we're going to put the ceiling on. Hey, it's looking like something. It's a little dark, but nothing a little light won't help with once we get it all hooked up, right? We have this little clamp. It is important because it holds the top and the bottom together on this side. Just press it right in there. It's its only job. And this is that one dangle light. So you just gotta put it down like that, and you see those two holes? That's where your little C-clamp is gonna hold it down, just like that. You thought we were done making stairs? Oh no, not yet. Here's another set of stairs. I think this is the last one. I could be wrong. Put that in place, and it's got a little railing too. Be careful with those little delicate pieces. And just like we did to the bottom floor, we're going to build walls for the top floor, so there's one on each side. So the second wall on this one, it goes in the middle, and it's two-sided. So just make sure you put things in the right direction. And then the wall that goes on the far right of this one is going to be the main panel. So we do still build two walls, but they're moved over a little bit. This is a fancy second floor. And we're going to put this one in place. It goes right, and it fits right in there. Everything's measured to the millimeter, so it'll fit. I promise you. Just like that. More pillars. Definitely don't do these all at once because they are slightly different for the different floors in the different areas. For instance, there's going to be one oddball that holds a light. So just do them as you go. Then you won't get confused which part goes where. There we go. We got 3 of those. And we're going to set those in place. And again, I just tried to put my pictures so that the cool side shows out. And you'll notice that there's one extra spot for one more pillar. We'll make it in a second. Here it is. It's got like the little happy face there. So just make sure you put it all in the right direction. That's going towards the top. It helps that with the pictures too, that you put it right side up. And this little guy is gonna go right here. Make sure the little holes are going to the back. Two more pillars. We'll be pros at this. These are the last ones, I promise. But they're pretty easy to put together. These go on the other side of the wall. Just like that. We're getting there. We're step 70. Just a few more. Just a few more. And then we get to play with it. So this one's the ceiling. And we're just going to put these little guys in here. And that piece we just built will go right here. And this ceiling is going to hold the other two lights that we have left. So there's a short one and a long one. And then there's a little keyhole there. That's going to be where we feed all our wires in. First, we're going to glue in our little touchpad. Just make sure the green and the circle, the actual touch part, is facing up. And again, I leave the batteries out until the last step because it will turn on and off. It's very touchy. It's funny it's called a touchpad, right? And your short wire will go down the middle, and then your long one is going to go over to the side there. There's a hole at the top there that the wire is going to go through. And there's a hole here for the short one. And you just clamp it in with the little clamp. And we're just going to set this here for now. And then, because I'm not sure where it's going just yet. Now from here we can see it clamps in right to the back of this pillar. There was a reason those holes were there. And now the fun part. We get to put all the panels in. And this is also, when you start putting these in and tilting it, it did happen to me, is once you tilt it and then something starts going, it rattles. You're like, oh man. So you go in there and then you know which ones are loose. And I just, anything that was kind of loose, mine was the railing, kept falling off on me. So I just glued it in. Just make sure everything's secure before you put these walls up. All right, and the back panel. this has a cool little door here, and you're going to make a doorknob. It latches when you turn it. So you just put it in the order that it says there. You're going to have to glue the little knob on the very, very front. But it's got a little T piece. And what that's for is once you close it and you just turn it a little bit, it'll keep the door shut. Alright, let's put the walls up. We only got 2 more. And the top. And we got the tippy top panel to put in there to cover everything up, and a front little panel that's open. So now it's pretty much done. I'm just going to put the plexiglass in, and we're all set. And the batteries, of course, so that we can turn the lights on. This one was fun. It's a nice, easy, just snap together. I did it in about a day. And I mean, I spread it out a little bit, you know, take a break here and there. But overall, my full footage, it was about 4 or 5 hours. So that's not bad at all. And like I said, it's fun. But if you just need a break from those little tricky, difficult little making roses and flowers and wires and things like that, this is the perfect one. And it's cool when it comes out. I had a lot of fun playing with this little guy, as you're going to see in a minute, or you already saw in the beginning. So once I get the batteries in, tuck it into the little door, we are good to go. And so before we get to the rest of the movie, definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If nothing else, that like button is great. Leave a comment what you like and dislike and everything. Mostly what you like, right? And I will see you in the next one. Bye.